Nebraska has a loaded transfer weekend on their hands. So in today's video, I'm going to go over brand new players who are visiting over the next couple of days, a recap on yesterday and today, and some commitments that I expect very, very soon. So really quick, we have a lot to get into. That's evident. Make sure to hit that like button. And also, if you're unsubscribed, now is the time to subscribe. We've been blowing up on the channel recently, talking about daily Nebraska transfer portal updates and everything else you need to know. So listen, if you're a diehard Nebraska fan, join 9,000 strong, the best family here on Husker YouTube, and hit that subscribe button. You'll be thanking yourself that you did. But without further ado, let's get into it, going over this update, talking about some players who've been on campus the last couple of days, some players who are coming this weekend, and some commitments in the near future. So I want to get this started with a guy I haven't talked about so far. This is Chris Murray. He just visited yesterday in Lincoln, defensive lineman coming out of Sam Houston. 1 year of eligibility remaining, but this guy is a very productive player. Was first team all conference, had 6 sacks last year, 2 forced fumbles at 6'4", 255, is a true 3 technique. Was also rocking that single digit last year for the Bearcats, so it's pretty evident that he this guy on film. Very powerful, has a knack for getting to the quarterback, has a knack for making plays in general. I actually really like this player, and he came on campus yesterday. He already visited Mississippi State, and it has a couple other SEC visits lined up. But Nebraska is still being aggressive in this defensive line market. We already took 3 defensive line transfers. Of course, Jalen George, Gabe Moore, and then Williams Nwaneri. They want to take one more, and this would be the cherry on top in Chris Murray. Very productive player. It only has 1 year of eligibility left, but this is the type of guy that would instantly be in the mix to start the second he gets at Nebraska. Those other 3 are kind of projects. He would be in the mix there on that 2 deep for sure. Might start next year if we can land him. So I want to give you an update around him. I haven't talked about him on the channel yet, but he just took a visit yesterday, and a couple other visits going on right now, but feel good about him. I also want to talk about this. This dropped yesterday by Tom Loy of 24/7 Sports that LSU corner transfer Zaire Brown is visiting Nebraska January 20th. Now, they haven't confirmed this, but I bet this was a typo. I think he's visiting today, which today is the 20th of December. So I'm not sure. I don't think it's January. It might be today. Just want to put this name on your radar, Zaire Brown. I think he probably is visiting today. There's no way he's visiting in a month. That just doesn't make any sense. This is a guy, again, who was at LSU last year and the year before that. Previously was with Ohio State, former 4-star corner. You know, obviously not the greatest when you look at his stats here. Let's pull him up. I mean, he played a little bit for both Ohio State and LSU, started a little bit according to LSU fans. Wasn't awesome, but we're talking about a guy who has a high potential. 1 year or 2 years of eligibility left, 5'11", 180. So pretty solid player. Just adds depth in this corner room, but I expect him to visit today. I'm not sure. They said January. There's no way he's visiting January, right? That doesn't make any sense. So I expect him to visit today, but Zaire Brown out of LSU. Central Florida is also in the mix there, but this is just a depth piece in that corner room, a guy who has high potential and is a veteran. So I want to put that guy on your radar. Also want to talk about this linebacker who just entered the transfer portal. Now, this name might sound familiar to you if you follow the transfer portal last year. He was actually transferred from Idaho last season, and Nebraska was very interested in this process. However, they passed him up. He ended up going to Central Florida. This guy is 6'2", 223 pounds. And you look at the stats in 2 years. So he was a true freshman at Idaho, had 74 tackles. And in 2024, he had 68 tackles from the jump to FCS to the Power 4. So this guy's a really good player. He is super fast. That's something that I really liked watching him on film last year. Like we were talking about this guy last year. Last January, we were discussing Zaire Alexander, but he just entered the transfer portal. I would expect Nebraska to have interest once again in this guy. He wanted to come to Nebraska originally. We just kind of passed him up, and we made a mistake clearly because we took Stephon Thompson over him. He was way better than Stephon Thompson, to say the least. So watch out for Nebraska in this process. Again, just entered the portal yesterday, Zaire Alexander, but very productive player for Central Florida. Very fast on film. Again, he kind of fits the box of what we want in Matt Rhule linebackers. Just athletic, good speed, can shoot through the gap really quick and make that tackle. That's who we get here in Ziri Alexander. I really like him. So not necessarily a connection there between Nebraska just yet, besides last year's connection, but I wouldn't be shocked if the Huskers pursue him like they did last offseason. Want to get to Andrew Marshall really quick here. I mentioned him a couple days ago. Again, he visited on Wednesday. This is a transfer coming in from Idaho. All signs point to him committing. I mean, you talk to any beat reporter, whether that's Sean Callahan, Steve Sipple, some other beats at 24/7 and Rivals. All signs point to this guy committing to Nebraska. He has not signed the dotted line, but he set up no other visits anywhere else. So I would expect Andrew Marshall that to happen. I mean, maybe today, maybe tomorrow. So I mean, we'll see what happens there. But again, feel pretty good about where we stand with Andrew Marshall. Again, 6 foot tall, 185, good man-to-man corner, 2 years of eligibility remaining. I mean, he's a very, very good player and will instantly be in the mix to start in that corner room. I really like Andrew Marshall, and Idaho does a good job producing a lot of quality transfers who end up being really good players in the Power 4 ranks. So I wanted to give you guys an update. Some people were asking me about Andrew Marshall. Things still look very good. He hasn't set up any more visits. I think he'll sign with Nebraska. But again, we're still waiting for an official word there on Andrew. One other guy I want to go after, again, this is Dane Key. I know I was receiving some questions. With Isaiah Hunter committing yesterday, are we still hosting Dane Key on a visit? Yes, Dane Key will be in Lincoln, I believe, tonight. So although all signs point to Georgia, like I will tell you that all signs point to Georgia, the crystal balls are rolling in for Georgia. The fact that he's still coming on a visit with Nebraska is definitely, it's just a sneaky good sign. Sneaky good sign. Like, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I think Nebraska is going to land Dane Key because, again, all signs still point to Georgia. I bet they're offering a good amount of NIL. They really, really want him. But the fact that he's still coming on a visit this weekend, even after an Isaiah Hunter committing, I think Nebraska still can wow him, potentially offer something for Dane Key. But that would be huge. If we could land this guy, we could get Dane Key in this process. And Isaiah Hunter, I mean, that's a really, really good receiver room. So although I'm not betting on it, I don't really love our odds. The fact that he's still coming on a visit, hasn't canceled on us, and will be here probably tonight. I don't know. We're just keeping an eye on it. So I wanted to give you guys a quick update around there, but he will be on campus today. I'm sure there's going to be some more names that trickle in over today on some more names who will visit Saturday and Sunday. So I'll keep you posted in tomorrow's video about some new names. But those are some guys that have been on my radar recently. Really quick, want to answer some questions. Again, we really haven't recruited linebacker too well. That's something that has been very interesting. Like, Ziri Alexander's a name that I threw out in this video, but we haven't really officially went after him. I'm just kind of speculating because we went after him last year. It'll be interesting to see what they do at linebacker because we need 2 or 3 guys, and we haven't really got anybody. So that's something to follow if you're a Nebraska fan. Obviously, you want to follow that offensive tackle spot. We've missed out on Isaiah Rhule. We might have missed out on that Washington State guy. We missed out on that Michigan guy. So we're just not doing great on that offensive line either. But, letting Isaiah Hunter yesterday was big. Hopefully we can get some momentum. Again, I'm not freaking out just yet. If we get to January and we're still in a bad place when it comes to the offensive line and the linebackers, then we might have to have a tough conversation. So, all right, guys, want to give you guys that update. Let me know down below your thoughts about all the guys coming on campus, guys who visited yesterday. Let me know in the comment section. Hey, if you made this far in the video, make sure to like button and subscribe. As always, folks, go big grab, go Matt Rhule, and see you in the next one.